Have you ever looked over at your partner in the dead of night and felt a cold distance between you, a silence louder than words, a fading warmth in her voice, a sparkle in her eyes that's no longer there? Too often, men notice these signs when it's already too late, when emotional infidelity has quietly taken root, and the bond they thought was secure begins to fray. This isn't about sudden betrayal. Cheating rarely starts with a kiss. It begins with emotional distance, subtle, quiet changes that escape attention until you realize you're no longer a priority. In this video, we explore 4 key phrases that often reveal when a woman is emotionally pulling away. These words might sound harmless, but they can signal that her loyalty and love are no longer fully with you. 1. He's just a friend. It begins innocently. A name that comes up more than usual, a laugh at a message she doesn't explain, or a new friend she defends a little too hard. He's just a friend, she'll say with a smile. But when a woman puts effort into convincing you that another man is harmless, it's often a red flag, not just about trust, but about emotional positioning. You'll notice patterns. She brings him up even when unnecessary, laughs at his texts more than yours, and protects that connection more fiercely than your concerns. When you raise questions, she might get defensive, even angry, not because you're wrong, but because you're getting close to a truth she hasn't admitted. Emotional intimacy doesn't begin with betrayal. It begins when emotional energy is redirected. She may not realize she's doing it, or worse, she does and simply doesn't care. What may appear as a harmless friendship can slowly morph into something deeper, especially when her bond with you weakens. Emotional infidelity is real, and often the man she claims is just a friend ends up being the one waiting in the wings. 2. You're being insecure. You sense something is off. A change in tone, a suspicious text, a story that doesn't quite line up. You ask about it, cautiously, only to be met with defensiveness. You're being insecure, or you always overreact. Suddenly, you're the problem. This is gaslighting, subtle, but deeply damaging. It's not just miscommunication, it's manipulation. She dodges your concerns, rewrites the truth, and makes you question your instincts. The inconsistencies in her stories pile up, and the more you question, the more she projects. Maybe you're the one cheating, she'll say, turning the tables without ever addressing the issue. These tactics aren't about conflict resolution, they're about control. Gaslighting chips away at your confidence until you start ignoring your gut. But your intuition doesn't lie. When things feel off, they usually are. And no matter how smoothly she spins the narrative, truth always leaves clues in silence, in contradictions, and in the unease that won't go away. 3. I need space. At first, this phrase sounds mature, even kind. Maybe she's going through something. Maybe she needs time to reflect. But in many cases, I need space is a soft exit strategy, a gentle way of beginning to detach emotionally while testing the waters of life without you. She becomes less affectionate, less available, and emotionally colder. The conversations shrink. Her energy shifts elsewhere. Often, another man's name enters the picture. He's just a friend, again. But the emotional intimacy you once shared begins to vanish. Many men respond by chasing, trying harder, being more romantic, making promises. But this only widens the gap. She's not asking for space to repair the relationship. She's using it to transition out of it, often toward someone new. The most powerful move is to honor the space she asks for, not out of revenge or desperation, but out of self-respect. If she chooses to drift further away, you'll know the truth didn't lie in her words, but in her actions. 4. You deserve someone better. This is perhaps the most confusing phrase of all. Delivered with a calm voice and a regretful look, it sounds like a compliment. But make no mistake, it's a final statement, not a beginning. When a woman says, "You deserve better," what she often means is, "I'm already gone." She may still be physically present, but emotionally, she's checked out. Her affection becomes mechanical, her conversation minimal. And her phrase, masked as kindness, is actually a way to avoid guilt and dodge explanation. Instead of saying, "I'm not in love anymore," or "I've met someone else," she hands you a breakup in disguise. Many men, still holding on to hope, try harder, believing she just needs reassurance or time. But when a woman says you deserve better, she's already rehearsed her exit. Trying to win her back only delays the inevitable and erodes your self-worth. True strength lies in letting go, not with bitterness, but with clarity and dignity. Conclusion. Choose clarity over confusion. Emotional infidelity doesn't arrive suddenly. It creeps in, cloaked in everyday phrases. These words, "He's just a friend," "You're overreacting," "I need space," "You deserve someone better," may sound innocent, but they're often signals that something foundational has shifted. Men ignore these signs far too often, hoping love alone will pull things back together. But once emotional loyalty is divided, the relationship becomes an echo of what it used to be. This isn't about blaming women, it's about recognizing emotional withdrawal before it turns into heartbreak. You are not responsible for convincing someone to love you. You are not meant to fix what another has already chosen to leave behind. A high-value man does not chase ambiguity. He doesn't plead for love that's already departed. He steps back, not to punish, but to preserve his peace. So ask yourself, are you accepting less than you deserve? Are you hoping that her vague reassurances mean more than they do? And if so, are you ready to stop settling and start choosing yourself? Because love that's real doesn't ask for space to include someone else. It shows up. It stays. And it never makes you question your worth.